Today's Cowboys Report is presented by Manscaped. You guys can get 20% off when you go over to manscaped.com and use promo code Cowboys. All of their top-of-the-line men's grooming products are available. We will be live once again, as we are for every single Cowboys game, for the Cowboys against the Patriots. Hopefully, it is a much, much better and more enjoyable watch than what it was in Week 3. So subscribe to tune in and pay attention, because I got some changes that I think this Cowboys team needs to make. Some of them obvious, like number 1, finish your drives. Now, that's the obvious change. How do you go about making this change? What is going on? Why is it bad all of a sudden? There's a very important thing to remember here from a red zone efficiency standpoint. Last season, touchdowns scored, right? That's what we care about. Hey, we're number 1 overall last year. Now, comparing the total season against what it's been so far isn't exactly fair. So instead, let's compare first 3 weeks of the season. Make note, Cowboys didn't have their starting quarterback out there for those last 2 games, Week 2 and Week 3. The Cowboys last year, because they got to number 1 because Dak was playing really well once he got back, minus the interceptions. 8th, Chargers, 18th. This year, Cowboys are 27th. The Chargers are 8th. It's a complete flip. And there are multiple reasons and or excuses why. Bad weather. You have some missed execution. You were down offensive linemen. All of those things are true. It is never 100% on one blame, but if we're assigning the plurality, if not the majority, biggest one is Mike McCarthy. That's been the single biggest change to this Cowboys offense. And look, Week 1, Week 2, especially Week 2, like, hey, you got conservative, that's fine. I get it. You're up by 20. You can run the football. It's fine. But when you're down by 2 scores and you got 5 minutes or less to play, and you're going to run the football 5 times in a row in the red zone, I don't know what you're doing. That doesn't make sense to me. I think that's bad decision-making. And don't start on the quarterback's trouble. No, if your solution to the problem is the quarterback has to audible every play, that's the Romo Garrett BS. That's a coaching issue. So don't lean so much on CeeDee Lamb. Don't only run the play-action waggle. Use some motion. You had a touchdown. You've called touchdown plays before that were dropped. Ferguson, I think KaVontae Turpin probably would have scored on one of them. The tight end jet sweep, all that's fine. First and goal from the 10 with a backup offensive line. Now time to call duo. Call inside zone, whatever. You got to get more creative in your passing game in the red zone. I think they're too predictable and leaning too much on that Lamb bailing out the offense when they can take it away in the red zone. It's easier when there's less space. So today's pinned comment, what is your confidence level in Mike McCarthy calling the plays? Scale it for me from 1 on the low end to 10 on the high end. Let's go to defense here. And again, this one's very obvious. Figure out their outside runs. It's not the first time we've talked about this. You can go back to after Week 1 when Leonard Fournette 2 years ago just ran all over the Dallas Cowboys, or a year ago, whatever it was. The chart looks staggeringly similar to what James Conner did. Do you notice the trend? Everything's outside the hashes. Everything's wide. I am disappointed by Mozzie Smith not playing that much. There were a couple bad reps by Hankins in there too. Don't get me wrong. But the playbook on beating the Cowboys defense is out there. It's tough to do. Cardinals did it to perfection. Outside runs. Go away from DeMarcus Lawrence. He's an elite run-stopping defensive end. He was awesome against Arizona. Go outside. Use the Cowboys' over-aggression against themselves. You saw Micah Parsons crash in on a read option keeper. He shouldn't have done that, right? You saw Dante Fowler, Sam Williams not keeping contained. Lawrence Armstrong was silent, basically, against Arizona. You did have some mistakes up front on the interior. Hankins missed a couple, but teams are going to run to the outside. That's going to be their plan. So you've got to have your run fits set properly. Your linebackers and your safeties did not do that. I thought in particular for this run defense There were some late adjustments by Dan Quinn. I thought that the fundamental sound football, flow to the football, get off blocks, wasn't there. I thought there were some execution woes in your back seven, in particular your linebackers and safeties. Got to be better moving forward. Good news, folks, it is fresh ball fall, and you need to be in the festive spirit. So light a candle, get some pumpkin spice, whatever food you're going to eat, and make sure your balls look nice with today's sponsor, Manscaped. Head over to manscaped.com and use promo code Cowboys for 20% off the Performance Package 4.0. Bring in fall right and get that special deal by using promo code Cowboys over at manscaped.com. The Performance Package 4.0 has the Lawnmower 4.0 with the advanced skin-safe technology that helps to reduce nicks and cuts and makes, we'll say, raking the leaves a lot less painful. Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, Crop Reviver Ball Spray Toner. Manscaped's the most comfortable boxers known to mankind. Tend to wear them on game days. It's a long day, and I want to feel comfortable. So get 20% off and free shipping when you use promo code Cowboys over at manscaped.com. As the leaves fall, make sure you have it all with Manscaped. Links in the comments and the description of today's show. Some changes to make, and this is kind of an overarching one that relates to your entire offense. Find a way to get into fewer third downs. Now, I'll talk about the overarchingness here, and then number 4 will be one way to help avoid that. The Cowboys buy downs this year. So we've got EPA per play, expected points added, factors in a lot of like where you are in the field. For example, that Dak interception was like -5 EPA because you're probably going to get at least 3, maybe more, and the defense takes over the 20. So it's worth a lot of negative points, right? Maybe even -6, actually. Success rate. First down, can you get enough yards? Keep yourself ahead of the chains, right? Coach, talk about that. That's what success rate is. First down, they've been pretty solid. 9th in EPA, 8th in success rate. Second down, 20th in EPA, 24th in success rate. That's not very good. You run the ball a little bit more on second down. If your first down play doesn't work, they have a tendency to go to that and getting yourselves into where they've been elite this year. Third downs, they have been special. The problem is they have a massive volume. They have the 4th most third down attempts in the NFL. They are 3rd in conversions, 8 per game. These are all rate numbers, so they might adjust a little bit based on the Monday Night Football results, but we're doing this on Monday, of course. It's rate numbers. It's relatable there. 4th in conversion rate, 51.1%. And that's a great number. Don't get me wrong. If you're converting 50% of your third downs, you're one of the best third down teams in the NFL. But that means you're going to fail on every other one. So if you're setting yourself up for a lot of these long, sustained drives, that's what the Cowboys are doing with all this short shit in the passing game, you're not getting the explosive plays. You ask any of these smart play callers right now around the NFL, the number one thing they want is explosive plays. The smart defensive coordinators want to avoid explosive plays allowed because, as it turns out, it is much harder to have an 11-play 75-yard drive than a 5-play 75-yard drive because you're going to convert on about 50% if you're good on third downs. You have to stop getting in so many third downs. You have to stop the penalties. There are ways to do that, but it requires you to be more aggressive, which we'll come back to here. What singular change, sit somebody, start somebody, coaching, philosophical thing, what change would you make for the Dallas Cowboys? Go vote for me in the comments right now. Number 4, you have got to be more aggressive on offense. Here are the numbers. ADOT, average depth of target. How far downfield are you throwing the football? Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys are second to last in average depth of target, behind Anthony Richardson, or ahead of Anthony Richardson, behind Bryce Young, Joshua Dobbs, and Joe Burrow pre-Monday Night Football, by the way. That is a stark difference from anything we have ever seen out of Dak Prescott in the past. Previous 5 years, all these numbers per the NFL's next-gen stats, by the way, 8.3, 8.0, 8.0, 9.4 in large part because your defense was terrible and you were chucking it. 7.6. So at minimum, 2 yards less downfield with this offense. This is a staple of the West Coast offense. But it can't all be short shit. And that's what this has become. Let's look at this next stat here. Passing depth. The 4 typical metrics here. This is based on the first 3 games, 2023 and 2022, the first 3 games with Dak Prescott, knowing that the bad Week 1 Bucs is also included in there. You've got behind the line of scrimmage has over doubled in the usage. You know what? The screens are working. Okay. It's a lot, though. Your 0 to 9 yards is played pretty steady. Your 10 to 19 yards has dropped by 10%. That middle of the field stuff where, by the way, quarterback had some great success with, especially once they stopped the option routes, it's gone. Your deep stuff has gone away. Now, there are reasons and excuses, right? They definitely took some stuff out in the Week 3 playbook. Tony Pollard has said that because of the injuries. Week 1 was really bad rainstorm. You know what? I get it. That's fine. The Jets, you were up big, but we're 3 games in, man. You can't just keep running the short shit if you're losing. You have to be, because teams are going to sit on it. You ran the sluggo one time. That's awesome. It should have been PI. You do need explosive plays, though, and it can't all be after the catch stuff. Maybe they're worried about the offensive line. Maybe they're just trying to get the ball quickly because of that, there's probably some truth to that. But also, where the hell is Brandin Cooks? You're not really looking his way very much. You actually have speed on offense, and you're just not going to scheme stuff up for him? This should be 1 game minimum of Brandin Cooks. Get in the football. Cooks was cooking. They were taking shots downfield in camp, and the Cowboys were having some success. You can't call a single go ball to Brandin Cooks when you get some single coverage. Come on. You cannot only do short stuff. You're going to have great accuracy numbers. You're going to be, which is what's been so far. You're putting ahead of the normal rate. All that stuff is great. You have to do some middle of the field stuff. They did nothing against Arizona. They threw 1 ball over the middle. It was the bad interception from Prescott. You have to do some of that. You have to have the backside dig in your playbook. That is a must throw in the modern day NFL. And Mike's not calling it. That's a huge problem. It's a huge problem. Now, if you want Brandin Cooks more involved, type me in the comment section right now. I got some more players who need to be involved on offense. Been over a day now. Where's KaVontae Turpin? Where's Deuce Vaughn on offense? The usage plummeting makes no sense. Week 1, KaVontae Turpin, 11 snaps, 3 carries, 2 catches, a touchdown. It's like, yes, the Cowboys are going to use KaVontae Turpin on offense. It fell back in week 2, but the snaps are up there. He played 2 snaps on offense. Why was that out of the game plan altogether? You clearly made it a focal point in week 1. Why wasn't it in week 2? Deuce Vaughn, garbage time in week 1, got involved in week 2, 3 carries, 16 yards, 3 catches, 16 yards, didn't play a snap on offense. I think you can get Hunter Lipke more involved if you so choose. How do you go from these guys being in your game plan to both of them out of it all together? Doesn't make sense. We complained about Kellen Moore not getting KaVontae Turpin involved. And what Mike McCarthy's doing is worse for me because he showed he can do it, and then he took it away. Make it make sense. Change that, please, Mike. I'm begging you.